Hi, and welcome to your virtual tour of the Bryant Stratton College Wauwatosa campus. Welcome to our first stop here at the Career Services location. So this is a very multifaceted room for our students with our career services, really focusing on the individual, not only through school, but also after graduation, supporting them in their careers. So with career services, they'll help current students as well as graduates with things like updating cover letters, resumes, doing interview prep work, and also even having a little bit more strategic action when looking for jobs out in the field. Also with that, it's also an area that students can come to in case they have any educational needs or concerns. That way we can properly address that with the correct faculty. So more of a general purpose room for students. And now we're going to head down to the Anatomy and Physiology Lab so we can see the hands-on. And welcome to the wet lab, where students are going to do the hands-on portion to their Anatomy and Physiology Lab, as well as for the general biology. So this is where they're going to put everything into practice from what they learned in the lecture. So we'll take a quick look around the room. So especially with this room, doing a lot of the hands-on portion to really help solidify what students are learning through the lecture. Students are able to work with things like the models here in the room, also doing things with the microscope, and also doing some of the dissections as well as the interactive class activities in a very small classroom environment. That way we can really focus on the student and make sure that in case they have questions, we're always there to help, as well as reinforce a lot of additional practice. All right, and next we'll go ahead and move on to a general classroom so you can see the classroom size and the interactive environment. All right, and here we have a general classroom here on campus. So the main goal for us is, again, to provide more of that personalized experience for the student. So keeping our class sizes small is a big thing for any student here on campus, regardless of what program that they're in. So making sure that with small classroom sizes, we can make sure that the professor is available before, during, and after class, making sure that we can have those really pertinent classroom discussions that's going to benefit the student in helping them comprehend the material of the day. So here in the nursing lab, really facilitating a lot of the smaller classroom sizes for students just to make sure that we can get them enough repetitions to really have that translate into solid skills when they're going on site to their nursing clinicals. And again, small classroom sizes, can't talk enough about that here on campus, just to make sure that we can get our questions answered for students as well, and really making sure that it's a positive small classroom environment for students. And now we'll head over to the bigger part of the nursing lab. So this is available for any of our nursing students here on campus. Great reasons to come in here is to do any of the additional studying after class, if you want to do any of the hands-on portion to help reinforce skills from what you just had previously in class or maybe during a lecture. Also doing clinical skill checks. And some of the great features about this room is having actual nursing faculty as well as work study students that are about to graduate from the nursing program here, able to help students with any of their questions, or maybe if helping to reinforce some additional skills that are going to be beneficial to their class as well as the rest of the nursing program here. All right, and welcome to the Medical Skills Lab, where our medical assisting students are going to come to do some of the additional hands-on work for their program. Also, additionally, students in this room are going to get some hands-on interaction to work on earning their certificates to do phlebotomy, so the needlework portion, and then also to work on getting their certification for their EKGs, so electrocardiograms. So again, really working with students on as much of a one-on-one basis as we can to help them solidify those skills that are going to transition then to the workplace and help them be successful. And now we'll head over to the Learning Commons area. All right, and here we are at the Learning Commons area, and we have Andy, who is in charge of this room and works directly with the students. Andy, can you tell us a little bit about this room?
Sure. This whole area is actually called the Learning Commons. It's broken up into two spots. This area is the family room, and of course, because it's the family room, I'm mom. And then the room next door is the library. That's the quiet spot. This is the area where students mingle, they eat lunch, they can work on computers, small group work, a variety of different things. But I think one of the biggest things that this room really helps facilitate resources. Students come in with questions about anything. And the rule that we sort of have is that any student who's in here often, if someone comes in with a question that they can answer, you get up and help them. That's just the way it works around here. Which leads me to talk about, we have a fabulous program called peer mentoring. You're aware of that, right?
Very much so.
Yes.
Students love it.
They do. And what's cool about it is 5 minutes of students' time, they come and tell me a little bit about themselves. I can pair them up with someone in their own programming. They really act as the go-to for anything, like where's the microwave on campus? Silly questions, or academic questions it could be. Yeah, peer mentors are fabulous. Something else I wanted to mention, a lot of people are afraid of math. I happen to love math, and I teach math speaking English, really important. So students can come in with any questions. Another thing this room does is paper review. Students can bring papers in. If they don't know how to start the paper,
perfect.
I can help them write it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
paper drop box right over there.
Yep. Yep.
And then about the online classes too.
Oh, absolutely. Students who have questions about logging in, anybody can email me. They don't have to be on campus. They can email me with questions. We've got tons of resources we can share with them, handouts, that kind of thing.
One of the main rooms for students to come to for help.
Absolutely.
All right,
I'm going to ask Mom. Mom will help you.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome. Thanks, Rob.
All right, and next we're going to head over to the Nursing Simulation Lab. Come on with. All right, welcome to the Nursing Simulation Lab. So this is where our nursing students are going to come to do some additional hands-on work for their clinical. With the nursing students, they'll actually start off in this room right here. This is where they get prepared for the hands-on portion to their simulation that day. So getting a chance to ask questions, walk through some of the basic stuff that they'll be doing that day for the simulation. And then when students are all set to do the hands-on portion, this is where it happens. So depending on what you have for your clinical that semester, we have things like pediatrics, young adult, we have a full childbirthing simulation, as well as one of our more advanced mannequins over there. And these students will work with hands-on for those specific clinical skills that they need to know and really reinforce when they're doing their on-site work on it. So things like even simulating a real live childbirth. So for students with the mannequin here, there's a plastic capsule that goes into the womb right here with a fake baby, and then when it's turned on and ran by the nursing faculty, she's actually able to give birth, just like you would experience out in the hospital. With this mannequin over here, one of our more advanced ones, you can do things with him like take his blood pressure, pulse, his fingers and toes turn blue. You can see he has sweat glands on his face, and the nursing faculty can even talk through the mannequins to you. So that way if you want to ask questions, they can answer questions. You'll see all of this is used throughout the entire simulation, so you'll see vitals pop up on the screen. You can actually use oxygen, even down to the very specifics where you're working with the pumps that you'll even find at that specific clinical location. And for our students too, you'll use things like the med cart. You'll use additional tools that you'll find out in the hospitals based on that specific clinical. And then a great feature that'll be provided to our students here in the simulation lab is we actually take audio and video of students when they're doing their simulation. That way it gives them a chance after they're done with the simulation to go back, sit down with their fellow students, check to see, okay, these are things that we need to work on, these are things that you do well, and all under the guidance of your clinical site instructor. So a really positive experience, additional hands-on in a very comfortable environment with a small group setting that's going to help translate to the actual clinical site as well as the actual field itself. All right, and here we are at the resource center that's dedicated specifically to sciences. So for any of your science questions that you have throughout the program, this is one of the great places to stop, specifically for things like anatomy and physiology, microbiology, any additional science classes through your program. And you get a lot of one-on-one, one-on-two help here with the instructors from those classes, and also gives students an opportunity to work with a lot of the different hands-on portion, like the models here, We have a full set of bones here that students can use to recreate and just to help really reinforce a lot of those skills that you're learning through the program. And one of the staples of any college campus, the library. So especially if you want any additional help or just to work in peace and quiet, utilize any of the books and resources that we have here on campus to help with your studies. Always feel free to stop by. This is available for anyone that's here on campus. And we made a quick stop here to our medical laboratory here that's primarily used by medical assisting students. In this area, they're going to get tons of additional hands-on experience here, all the way from medical laboratory equipment, all the way through things that are important like HIPAA, working on their injections, blood draws, really anything that you're going to find more in a hospital or clinic setting. So really exposing these students to a wide array of practical experience that's going to help them transition into the field. And here we are in the OTA lab for occupational therapy assisting students. So not only does this program cover the rehabilitation side of things, but also helping students to help their clientele, relearning a lot of the simple tasks that maybe we take for granted. So things like functions in the bathroom, even going into areas like the kitchen or having to figure out how to reach the double-stacked laundry with things. So it's one of the great features about the program, really helping people get back to their everyday life and making things as simple as possible to help them live normally as possible. All right, and welcome to the Student Lounge, also called the Cantina here on campus. This is where students can come in to grab a bite to eat, grab something to drink in between classes, also meet up with their fellow students to do any type of group activity. If you want to take just a little rest and relaxation time, we always encourage that. And we also have an additional lounge that's across the building where students can also take a quick breather. All right, and now for the parents among you, we'll stop by the Children's College. So this is available for ages 3 through 12, as long as they're potty trained, and for students here when they're doing any type of campus activities. So they'll work with the kids on doing learning games, fun activities. They'll go outside and play when it's really nice outside. And just really helps with a lot of the parents here where having issues between their child care situation and going to school at the same time, it just really helps make sure and reassures them that their kids are close here on campus and they can still fully participate in their studies and classroom activities here on campus. All right, and here we are at the last stop of the campus virtual tour today, the Bryant Stratton Spirit Store. So come on in, grab some gear, show your school spirit. You can also get nursing and medical assisting scrubs here on campus. So thank you very much for coming in for the campus tour today, and we look forward to seeing you in class.